are far worse things waiting man than death.
You will be scared shitless.
So this is S. Michael Sims, and with me as always is
Erin Dawn.
And Slinky Giallo.
And we are the Scared Shitless Podcast, and bringing you tonight for the first time on the show, Halloween 3. Boys and girls, it's time. So put on your masks. Listen, this is a very much maligned movie for Halloween fans, for many Halloween fans. And I was just telling the gang that I had a lot of nostalgia for this film because I did watch the shit out of it on cable when I was a kid, and I loved it, and it scared the crap out of me. But I just watched it with my new girlfriend, and we thought it was really bad. Now I don't mean it's okay. I just mainly the acting I thought was bad, but there's other things. So we should just get right into it because I know you two love this movie and know a lot about it. So prove me wrong, tell me I'm wrong, tell me why I'm wrong, and we can go from there. But what are your general thoughts of this film? When did you first see it? How do you feel about it?
So I saw this probably when I was around 12 or 13, and it was scary to me because it dealt with the deaths of children, which was not something I'd ever seen before. And I like the fact that it subverted the whole Halloween thing where there's, no Michael Myers. I was warned ahead of time by my brother, so I didn't go into it thinking like, oh, where's Michael Myers? I just knew that it was supposed to be different. And yeah, I love it. It's a staple of my Halloween watching. The overall sense of dread in it. I like the fact that there's this really creepy company town, and where everyone just sort of drank the Kool-Aid and looks the other way at these really unusual things that are happening. Stacey Nelkin is, she's got the big doe eyes, she wasn't
Little
really
sprightly nose. You remind me of Morgan Fairchild, her nose job.
Yeah, she's very pretty.
Uh-huh.
She's very pretty. She was brought into the Hollywood world by Woody Allen. So just take that for what it is. She was
At a tender young age, I would assume.
in the 15, 16-year-old range,
Yikes.
while as Mr. Allen was somewhere in the neighborhood of 32. So, and actually his movie Manhattan is based on their relationship.
Oh,
so,
Lord
which
have
is so crows. Okay. But I love Tom Atkins. I don't really care what he does. I just love watching
he's
him.
amazing
He's
in
fun.
everything. He steals the show.
And yeah, it is a very there are a lot of campy elements to it.
Yes.
It's not a particularly violent movie. The violence is kind of scattered. But to me, it's just the psychology of it. The psychology of it is really what the fuck? And I love Dan O'Herlihy because I love Last Starfighter, and Slink brought up that he was in RoboCop. I didn't know that, but
Okay.
but I do love him. He's just this smooth Irish Catholic guy, right? So I kind of dug that. But no, man, I love this movie. So here we go.
Uh-huh.
No, it's not bad. It's just there's a lot going on here. I was, let's see, I'm trying to think. I was 13 when I first saw this movie because I remember distinctly watching it with my Aunt Evie, who is a old she's from Staten Island, so she was like an old Brooklyn, like an old New York lady, just real sassy and stuff. So I remember asking her, "Hey, can I watch Halloween 3?" Because I'd never seen it. But I had enough brains to know that in a video store on the back of the boxes you can read the synopsis of films. And so I knew long before I ever watched this movie that Michael Myers was not in this movie, and this movie was about a fucking evil warlock who was wanting to murder children on Halloween. When I read that, because of my weird nerd brain, I was into that type of stuff, occult stuff, cool, I had watched In Search of religiously and loved it. So any kind of mysticism, any kind of that stuff I was drawn to. So just the idea of the movie, the fact that there's this evil warlock who was going to murder children because that's how they did it 3,000 years ago, and we've lost sight of the fucking goal. That's incredibly disheartening and very frightening and scary, no matter how you cut it. And once I had saw that as a kid, Michael Myers took a back fucking seat to the franchise. And I say that with all the love and admiration I can to Michael Myers because half the locations in Haddonfield are in New Jersey. So I grew up down the street from Haddonfield. Like Deborah Hill grew up an hour from my house. So me and Michael Myers are very comfortable together. We play cards a lot. But the fact that this guy is going to murder kids on a kid-friendly holiday, that's mind-blowing. And to add to Dan O'Herlihy, he's so fucking cool to watch because he's a salesman, he's a gag guy. He's there talking to the families that sold enough product to warrant a visit to his factory. And he's real smooth, he's real calm, he's real, oh yeah, the kids, it's all about the children. But when he's in that room with fucking Dr. I always want to call him Chablis, Dr. Chalice, he switches into fucking get the fuck off my lawn mode real quick. And it's real creepy. And you're just like, holy shit. Cause he's like, when the fields ran red with the blood of fucking children and animals, we didn't give a fuck. Fuck them kids. So it's like, holy fuck. So to me, anything after that about a guy with a knife and a phallic problem, backseat all day. Backseat all day. So this movie's just very near and dear to me. It's very near and dear to me. I think I'm very protective of it because it was one of the first horror movies I watched when we moved to Florida, and horror saved my life. Horror kept me from running with gangs and shit when we first moved here. So I have a very large soft spot for Halloween 3. Plus, I don't know how many groups I'm banned from in Facebook over defending this movie to horror fans.
Yeah.
So it's just I got a real soft spot for it. Yeah, it's campy. Yeah, it's silly. It's schlocky as fuck. There's certain scenes that have to be written a certain way to progress the story to get to the next part. And her wrapping herself in a bed bug towel does it. It's just there's a lot of silly shit in it, but that's what makes it charming, man. That's what really adds to
Nope,
it.
I get it. I felt very similarly to how I feel when I watched Jaws 3.
Absolutely. I'll defend Jaws 3 till I'm in the ground. Is it a great movie? Meh.
It's pure
Well, it's
80s
fun.
cheese.
Yeah,
And so that I didn't hate this movie when I rewatched it. Okay, don't get me wrong. Let me backtrack a little bit. But first, I want to bring up a fact that you both love this movie, but neither of you did what horror, like really horror nerd types do, which is to point out that Michael Myers actually is in the movie twice.
Oh,
Yeah.
Jesus Christ. No, because you don't want to be that fucking guy,
Right.
right? Like, you're going to be like, yes, in fact, Michael Myers does appear in a
Actually,
TV spot.
right.
It's very meta.
Loved that. Seeing that as a kid, I thought that was so fucking cool. I was like, wow, so we're in that universe where
Right.
oh, okay.
But
So, I mean, that was a nice
yeah.
Easter egg back before we even had the term Easter eggs, right?
Easter eggs, yeah, that's before. But no, I have such a soft spot for this, and it's not necessarily the acting per se or the character development of swinging Dick Doc, but just the overall feeling of it. It has a very yeah, there's a sense of dread. And it is very
For sure.
and
And that's why I really wanted to do it, because I do recall having those feelings. And I think I was a little younger than you guys when I watched it. I was probably about 10, and it would have been on cable TV. So probably HBO or Skinemax. And yeah, it scared the living shit out of me. The gore, with the mask reveal, the terrible nose pinch. Remember that?
oh yeah,
The guy
rips
head
his
half.
in his eyes and then cracks his
Yeah.
eyes and then somehow gives him a brain aneurysm.
The Tinker Toy on Tinker Toy violence in the movie.
Yeah.
When the robots bleed yellow.
Yes. They use orange juice for that. I saw on one of the vids.
Oh, nice.
Plus, I'll say this movie has a feel. It looks like a John Carpenter flick, but it's not a John Carpenter flick.
Does he do the
If-
music? Because It felt like a John Carpenter soundtrack to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like I don't know. I don't know if Tommy Lee hadn't come into his own yet as a director.
Who did the music for
But when
Halloween
you
3?
watch The Fog, there's scenes from The Fog that are interchangeable with
Music
this.
for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, was composed and performed by John Carpenter
By
and
John
Alan
Carpenter.
Howarth. They
Okay.
collaborated.
John Carpenter and Alan Howarth. Okay.
Yeah. But when you watch the movie, there's times where they're driving into Santa Mira and stuff, and it's very just it looks like a fucking John Carpenter flick.
Yeah.
It really does. It plays
Oh yeah,
like
the
it.
camera angles, the
Yep.
liminal spaces for sure.
And so yeah. So absolutely.
That's a definite plus. So why don't we, well, okay, so if you guys are up for this, I have not watched the movie as much as you guys have. So I can't really go through it chronologically like I usually do with most
We
movies.
can.
She can.
But if you guys can, then yes, let's please do what we usually do and kind of start at the beginning. So
All right. The movie opens with an old man running down the street, carrying a pumpkin mask in his pocket,
Like grim death.
clutching
and I
like
didn't
grim
look
death.
him up,
Thank
but I
you.
know he's a character actor. I've seen him in other shit.
I'm not sure who played Papa, but he's being pursued by a henchman in a suit. They're all very diminutive henchmen. They're very tiny, tiny men, short kings. Some short kings there. And he then gets hit by the slowest moving car ever. And the old man escapes and goes to a gas station where he collapses, and then we cut to the doctor on call, who is visiting his kids for pre-Halloween, because the parents are divorced, so he's doing the dad thing, and then his beeper goes off, of course, and he goes to the world's least populated hospital. And
After Halloween, after Halloween 2's hospital.
yeah, I mean, really, it's like nobody's there. So, and he gets there and proceeds to sexually harass everyone in his path. But it was the 80s, and this was completely, totally normal. And they all giggle and hair flip and enjoy it. And then he comes across the man with the mask, and he says they're gonna kill us all. And then just collapses. So they put him into, a room, and I guess he's the on-call doc at the ER that night. So they put him in the doctor's lounge where there's milk and cookies in the fridge. And Agnes, his charge nurse, goes in to check on the old man and sees a henchman who has put on black gloves, proceeding to,
Of course,
basically,
because no, the robots don't want to leave fingerprints.
yeah, no, it's like he crushes this dude's skull and then wipes his hands off on the drapes. His gloved hands on the drapes.
Right.
So, okay. So she screams. Dr. Chalice comes running. That's Tom Atkins. He runs down the hallway, and then he looks out the window, and he sees the henchman is sitting inside of a car, pouring gasoline all over himself and lighting a match. So very methodically, like, not, there's no emotion there, right? So Tom Atkins is, then calling his ex-wife and letting her know that he indeed is not coming home to take care of the kids that night. I think he was supposed to go pick him up. And
she's played by
Nancy
somebody from
Loomis.
Halloween 1, yeah?
Yep. Annie from Halloween 1. And also Tommy Lee Wallace's wife at the time.
We have to do a flip back here, because in the beginning, where the old gentleman runs into the gas station, there is an older gentleman watching TV, and the TV he's watching plays the Silver Shamrock commercial.
Yes.
For the masks. And that's our first introduction to this earworm of a song. The masks proper, there's 3 of them. Get yours.
Halloween. They're called the Halloween 3.
The masks are called the Halloween 3 that were released that year from Don Post Studios. But that's our first introduction to any kind of, okay, there's something going on with these masks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
we see
2 of the
guy-
masks had already been in production. I think it was the witch and the skull.
Yep,
And then
they made the pumpkin for the
collaborated on
movie.
the pumpkin, yeah.
That's right, yeah. And they really missed the marketing juggernaut with this movie in the 80s, because I remember back in 2020, a company named NECA made 3 figures of those kids with
Love
the
NECA.
masks on in the box.
Mhm.
And I was one of the first rubes at Target and bought one. And yeah, so they missed the marketing juggernaut with these masks, man. They could have, well, they like they do now. They put them all over everything.
And so
now.
let's talk about the song, because it is so iconic. I even see it in memes from time to time. They chose London Bridge is Falling Down for the tune because it
Yep.
was public domain. But then they added that, honestly, it's creepy, that 80s synthesizer thing. You know,
Yeah, the
bump, bump,
synthesizer
bump.
music in it is everything is very artificial in this movie.
Yeah, and the opening credits even, it's the pumpkin from the commercial. And it's all very, not even 8-bit, it's like pre-8-bit pixelated.
Oh yeah. Big time.
Yeah, it's well, in the beginning, I was joking with Erin when we were watching the movie the other day, and they show when the movie starts, the intro, it's beep 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 beep. That there's weird like analog sounds that you hear. I was joking with her and I says, "Hey, did you know if you turn that pumpkin on its side, it looks like Tom Atkins' mustache?" And so it's just,
I bought it.
she totally bought it, but she's like, "You're the worst."
Yeah.
But so it's like it's hard to describe that weird 70s into the 80s analog digital weird synth music thing that's happening. It's very,
And it was right at the beginning of the technology
myself
is
into a
scary wave, where
Yeah,
they
there you go,
started doing
scary
movies
wave.
about killer
Scary
robots,
wave.
and
Like,
the
there was
Terminator
John
came out not long
That's
after.
good. Yeah.
It was part of the
Scary wave.
zeitgeist, is that computers are going to take us over,
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so this
Well-
was playing into it a little bit. Yeah, absolutely.
It really was. And then another thing that happens in the gas station that I forgot to bring up, which is a huge plot point, bad Erin Dawn, is that on the news there has been a piece of Stonehenge that has mysteriously gone missing.
Yeah.
And the British officials are baffled.
Yes, very subtle.
And that's it. That's like, and you don't hear about Stonehenge for the next hour and a half.
And what's funny is her and I were joking about that too. We were like, this little podunk gas station in Northern California picked up a BBC signal at 2 a.m. on October 23rd. Like, it's really good. It's really good.
Yeah, that 80s reception, yeah, it's killer.
That's
Yeah, I'm cultured, man.
wild in there. Okay, so yes.
So wait. So we talked about who is it? Nancy Loomis?
Nancy Loomis is the ex-wife Linda.
Let's talk about Tom Atkins real quick, because maybe some people don't know who he is, but shame on you if you call yourself a horror fan and you don't. Tom
We don't
Atkins,
wanna
for
know
me,
you.
I always think of Creepshow, but then of course Cujo, as well as Night of the Creeps. Probably besides Halloween 3, that's probably his most iconic role, as the tough detective in Night of the Creeps.
Thrill me.
Really. I think of Night of the Creeps. I think of Two Evil Eyes. I think of Jesus Christ, My Bloody Valentine remake, because that's not how you kill Tom Atkins. Lethal Weapon. You don't kill Tom Atkins. Tom Atkins kills you, or the mustache kills you.
That's right. And then he fucks your mother.
And then he fucks your mother. That was my favorite meme for years. Was that Tom he doesn't care if you like Halloween 3. It was a way to go fuck your mom. Like, it's really good.
So yes, God bless him. He's an American icon.
Indeed.
Absolutely. And
Absolutely.
he's a nice guy. He's like a fucking genuine nice guy. Like, he's not one of those guys.
Yeah,
Oh, for
there's-
sure. The Death Curse Society guys, they do another show on YouTube and Facebook. I've been hanging out with him for a couple of years now, and they got him to do a plug for their show, and he was so freaking gracious. He sat there and resaid the lines over and over. Listen to Death Curse Society, or I'll
We're
do
not worthy
bad
of
things
Tom
to you.
Atkins at
You
all.
know, just such a sweet, accommodating guy for the fans. So yay,
Yeah.
Tom Atkins.
Yeah,
We love him.
I love Tom Atkins.
all 89-year-old of him.
Yeah.
Oh wow,
His
we're
mustache
gonna be
was
dead
72.
soon.
Yes. So then his daughter shows up to identify his body. Papa's daughter shows up. Little doe-eyed fuck pixie that she is. Yeah. She shows up. That's Stacey Nelkin. And Tom Atkins looks at her and is like, "Oh, well, hello.
Hello, nurse.
I'll have you identify the body. Wounded baby bird." So Tom Atkins ends up at a bar, the saddest bar ever,
Yeah.
where there's cartoons on the TV, and
Can
he
you change
tells
the
the
channel, please? Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
he tells the bartender, he's like, yeah, put something else on. And then we get the TV spot for Halloween.
Oh no, Halloween. Okay,
We
yes.
get that first,
With Michael
like
Myers. Yeah, the real Halloween, according to
Saturday night.
yeah,
Funny in
most
the
fans.
commercial. What's funny is to think back on the argument that horror fans have with this movie. The commercial that they shot to plug the Halloween movie, there's so much Michael Myers in the commercial. They literally took every scene of Michael Myers and put it in that 35-second video. Nobody else is in the movie. You see Jamie Lee on the porch, but
Right.
it's all Michael doing stuff. Michael
Right.
walking downstairs. So it's Michael to the nines, bro.
Oh yeah,
in
they're
that movie.
paying homage to him for sure, to Carpenter,
Yeah.
to the franchise.
Absolutely.
So she runs into the bar and she sees him and she says, did my father have any last words? And he says, yeah, tell Ellie I love her.
Right.
And she's like, well, you're a bad
You're a bad
liar,
liar.
but thank you. And then he says, no, wait. And he tells her, he said they're going to kill us all. And so she just basically says, hey, want to go on an adventure to find out what happened to my dad? And he's like, sure.
Fuck the police.
Yeah.
We got
Yeah.
No,
Dr.
there's none of that. Yeah, no.
Dr.
And fuck
Chalice
them
on the
kids
case.
too. Fuck my kids and fuck my ex-wife and fuck all kind of, and probably fuck my job at this point too, because he literally,
They just take off.
he just gets a 6-pack of beer and she has an overnight bag that holds, one piece of Fredericks of Hollywood lingerie. And they venture into Santa Mira, which is this company town, and it's very deserted. It's kind of funny because it has this just uncomfortable, it's deserted, there's nobody really around, people are kind of looking sideways at them out the window.
Yes. And so when I saw that scene, and this was before I watched any of the behind the scenes stuff, we did Invasion of the Body Snatchers last week. And one of the things the producer said was this movie owes a lot to Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
When you said to do Halloween 3 this week, I was like, well, we just watched Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Yeah.
I was like, you know what I mean? I was like, it's the same ending and stuff. I do like when they get to the town, everybody pulls the Wicker Man shit where they're all looking out the window and then they're like, no, just pull the shade back down. Yeah. So I love that stuff, man.
You gotta love the creepy
not
town
a-
trope for sure.
Absolutely.
So, but it's, it starts off as like, hey, we should pose as some buyers. And then that somehow takes a left turn into, hey, let's be a married couple. And she's like, okay, because she's, 22. And
I'll sleep on the floor or in my car.
And then here comes my favorite part of the whole movie. Where do you want to sleep, Dr. Chalice? That's a real dumb question, Miss Grimbridge. Yeah. And like she kind of like looks behind her like.
And so, okay, I need to backtrack. I said the acting was bad, and some of it is, but their acting wasn't bad. They did the best they could with what they had to work with. I will put it that way.
Yeah. I mean.
Parking lot peril. Yeah, it's funny.
So yeah. When they show up at the Rose of Sharon,
Rose of
Sharon motel, which is just he's like, hey, $40 do it, and he's like, more than enough, sir. Yeah. So then we meet our crazy characters, which is our average American annoying white family, the Kupfers, and
Miss Gutman.
And then Miss Marge Gutman from San Francisco, who is a toy store owner from San Francisco. And they're all there to pick up, like a last minute batch, basically.
They screwed their orders up.
Of the mask.
They're there to get the fixed orders. You should tell them about Tom Atkins.
What?
Miss Gutman.
Oh yeah. Oh, Tom Atkins and Miss. Yeah. So in real life, Marge Gutman and Tom Atkins were married.
Yeah.
No.
So it is kind of funny because he's in the next room, fucking, fucking Stacey Nelkin, and his wife is getting laser beamed in the face.
Yeah, a misfire, if you will. Yeah. So
So, so did we meet the couple?
Yeah.
The okay,
Cuthers, yeah,
and their
Yeah.
kid, right?
Senior, weird ginger Buddy Jr.
Mhm.
and the mom, Mrs. Kupfer.
Yeah. Who's holding on hope to they will be rich one day. Like,
And they're basically from the get-go, they're basically comic relief, which
Oh yeah,
movie
they're
kinda
the
needs.
annoying white, dumb American family, and they were like the costume designer specifically designed them to look like they were loud and out of place. and
Right,
just
which reminds
obnoxious
me
clothing.
of the sad fact that Joe Dante did not end up directing this movie. He was the first choice to direct
Mhm.
Halloween 3. And I'm not saying that this director did a bad job, but I'm saying that it would have been a very different movie.
Different movie,
if
probably
the director of Gremlins had directed
Yeah.
Halloween 3.
Piranha, like
probably more
Not-
comical.
it would have been more. See, there would have been more intentionally funny stuff in it.
Yeah.
Versus the unintentionally
Really funny
Right.
stuff like the porno dialogue and
Right.
that kind of thing.
So yeah,
And so that was, it made me feel some kind of way because the comedy in this movie is mostly unintentional. But Dante, I think, would have honestly brought it to the next level. But I don't think Dante would direct Halloween 3. He wouldn't direct a third movie in a trilogy, like in a sequel.
That's what I was thinking.
Probably not.
It was, he's not gonna,
But
yeah. No,
now, who directed this movie?
Tommy Lee Wallace.
Tommy Lee Wallace, who was the editor, right, of the original Halloween.
Mhm.
Which, God, mad props for that. It's like one of the most flawlessly edited horror movies.
He's the reason we have a Michael Myers mask. Is him? That's who they sent to the store to get the fucking clown mask and to get the Captain Kirk mask. Was Tommy Lee Wallace, and he came in and was like, "Here's this and here's that." So if it wasn't for Tommy Lee Wallace, Michael Myers would look far different.
And probably not as scary.
Scary and yeah. So yeah.
But yeah, definitely went in a different direction than it would have under Dante for sure. So yeah, again, it kind of made me feel some kind of way. It pulled me out of it a little bit, like just that it wasn't purposely funny. I don't know, that it was a drawback for me.
I mean, I don't. So I don't know if it's just that I think there's something very sad about the Kupfer family because they're really there to try and kind of get into the good graces of this toy maker so that they can have money at some point, and they're raising this like shithead kid
Right.
who rides away on his bicycle and then flips off.
Yeah. If I ever flipped my mom off, she would just murdered me. Like there just wouldn't have been a thing. So
Yeah.
Right. It does add an element of humor because when he finally does get it, you're like, well, he had it coming, not really,
Yeah.
but like in horror movies, anytime
Right.
a character is annoying, they have it coming, Oh, I want to see that kid get it,
But that's the thing is I found them I didn't find them annoying per se. I think I just found them sad, because it was just like they really thought that this was like the thing, right? They thought like they were gonna get in good with Connell and Connell was gonna
take care of them.
them in some way,
100,000 of my masks.
he owns a town.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah. Right.
Yeah. We forgot the sexy medical examiner. The strawberry blonde, Miss Teddy. Teddy finds the robot penis that she reveals that this is indeed not a person.
These are car parts.
These are car parts.
Yeah, somebody mixed up the order.
Also somebody that Dr. Chalice has slept with. So
Which makes me think about how much friggin' money does this company have that they can create technology that doesn't exist, like they can create androids.
right.
And it's a mask company, it didn't quite gel with me. Like, and how much money can a mask company possibly make in the early 80s?
Well, that's the thing though. He's a warlock. So who knows what weird witchcrafty shit he's been doing?
Financial alchemy that he's
Right?
done, because if you
Fair
think
enough.
about it,
Fair enough.
he
Suspension of
isolated a
disbelief. Yeah.
town. He has a whole town, and much like the Umbrella Corporation in Raccoon City and Resident Evil, they funnel and siphon a lot of their fucking net profits into other stuff. So it's not on. It's wow, the deep thought process into the fucking Halloween 3. So it's like the fact that he has a subdivision that is working on fucking synthetic life forms. He wouldn't be able to do any of this shit that he's done unless he was able to do that. But again, to your point, he's a warlock. He transported a fucking piece of Stonehenge over here and nobody saw it. So the fact that he's got like little smurfs in a room concocting these guys to bleed yellow and to do his nefarious deeds, not on the payroll, and he doesn't have to worry about them slipping out and telling somebody some secrets of the fucking Silver Shamrock. He's on next level shit with this stuff, man.
Yeah.
But again, he's a warlock. So it's like
Yeah, I was thinking about that is if you can somehow get a piece of Stonehenge back to, America.
Yeah.
And then somehow said Stonehenge has the ability to make your head melt and a bunch of crazy bugs come out of it. Like he's way beyond anything else. So,
Right. Yeah, I guess if the movie had come out maybe a few years later, they probably would have spent a little time explaining that this is just a subsidiary and they have all these ventures, and all their fingers and all these pies, but they didn't bother with that. So I don't know. It just made me scratch my head a little bit. Like, how the fuck does a mask company afford all this? You know what I mean?
yeah, that's why I like Slink's point. Like I think that he's a businessman and I think that he's in a lot of businesses.
You would
And
get
I
the
think-
Marvel No Prize for sure for that
Yeah,
one. I agree.
he's definitely
every dirt and bent and stinky pie in London. So yeah.
a lot of crazy shit going on. Yeah. Between yes. And so
And fun fact,
oh,
Colonel Glover from Return of the Living Dead is in this movie. And I've seen this movie 37 times and I didn't realize it till 2 days ago.
No
Yep.
shit.
so
Colonel
Colonel Glover plays the homeless drunk, alcoholics, they seek each other, and who comes up to Dr. Chalice and says, "Hey, can I have a sip of your liquor? Like I ain't got no diseases or anything." And Tom Atkins is like, "You know what? I see you." And
Yeah, I see you.
fucking so and he starts running his mouth and he says, "Well, they didn't give me a job at the factory. They hired all these other guys. The immigrants took my job." So he's and then when Adkins leaves, then he's like, "I didn't do anything. I didn't say anything. I didn't like the overwhelming paranoia and anxiety of I don't want to piss off the overlords, right?
Right, which adds a different level of horror for sure.
Well, it is. It's very uncomfortable. And then like the two, the two henchmen show up, one of which is Dick Warlock, and just pop his head off like a grape.
All right, tell everybody who Dick Warlock is.
Oh well.
Dick Warlock.
Dick Warlock is the very first Michael Myers.
Shape, yes.
Nay. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He's the second Michael Myers. It's Halloween 2. Yeah.
He walks through the door.
He's the little guy because he's
Master
very
stuntman.
short.
He's done tons of shit. Yep.
But yeah, he's also Kurt Russell's stuntman. Stunt double. He's done so many things and still alive.
Yeah.
Might I add.
Still
And then
kicking.
his son, Billy Warlock, was in Society. He was on Days of Our Lives. And apparently he ended up on Baywatch. I never watched a single frame of that, but apparently he's on Baywatch as well. So yeah.
That's him in Halloween.
And that's him and no.
Not Baby
Kicking
Warlock?
it with the Hoff.
He walks into Michael Myers on the street. and
Oh
Michael
yeah,
Myers walks
he has the
up.
boombox.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he's in part 2. He's in Halloween 2. Yeah. As the guy with the boombox.
So yet another connection to, the earlier films.
Right. Halloween.
So haters back off. Yes.
So anyway, Marge has been taken away. She's dead, obviously. Homeless guy got killed. They decide, hey, we're gonna go scope out the factory. Chalice and little, fuck pixie. And they run into the Kupfers, and the Kupfers are there because they have won a tour. And they ask Connell, hey, can our weird married couple friends come too? And he's like, sure. So they're walking around, and that gives them a chance to do some recon, basically. And that's when they find out that Connell started off as this like practical joker. Is that was his whole thing, was he came up with these practical jokes, these things that would sell in these little magic shops, and quote, built his empire. And so Mrs. Kupfer is like, see, there's hope for us yet, right? Because it's
Right,
like this
self-made
idea,
millionaire, billionaire.
right?
Yes.
If I just keep selling masks for the Dark Overlord, then eventually I too can own a town. But that's not, that's essentially that's also a thing. It's like people who who worship a rich overlord, thinking that if they work hard enough for rich overlord, then they too will become rich. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
the rich overlord appreciates your hard work.
Uh-huh. That's some societal terror there, It's that overlying message, or underlying,
Exactly.
rather. Yeah.
You'll never be in the club. You can work as hard as you want to work, but you're not, it's not like that anyway. So while they are walking around the factory, Stacy Nelkin looks over at a garage, and she sees her father's car. And at this point, Tom Atkins is like, all right, we gotta go call the authorities.
Right.
And this was 1982. So, you had to call information, to call 911, to call, whoever. And they go back to the hotel, and he's like, yeah, we should call the Marines, which was definitely a thing you heard a lot in 80s movies. Like
Right.
everything from like Red Dawn to this movie,
Hoo-ah,
it was,
yeah.
we're calling the Marines, because you could just call them.
Semper Fi.
Right. Yeah. So they go back to the hotel. He goes back into the hotel room, and Ellie's gone. Ellie's gone.
Boom, boom, boom.
They've kidnapped her, picked her up. So then Tom Atkins proceeds to just run around the factory. Like you do, trying to find her. And at this point, he actually had the flu. So you can, if you watch the scene, like he is sweating balls. He is just pouring sweat.
I did notice. Oh, so he was sick. That makes sense.
He does not look good. But he's a professional. He's up there with like Richard Reilly from Hatchet. Like Richard Reilly from Hatchet was doing some sort of stunt where he was walking along like a log, and he broke his fucking foot. And he just kept going. It's like the Richard Reilly School of Acting, and Tom Atkins is like that. Like he's a consummate professional, and no one ever knew he was sick. So, so he gets caught, and he ends up punching one of the henchmen, and his arm goes through them and comes back out, and it's all orange juice. Yeah, it's orange juice. It's just orange juice and slime. So he's like, and then out pops Dan O'Hurley. Yeah, out pops Connell. He's just like, well, I guess you're here so you can see a demonstration. And he's like, Mer? Where he gets seated in front of this glass, and basically watching this living room simulation. And the Kupfers have been asked to sit in the simulation because they're going to watch a commercial, and they're going to give their opinion. And of course, he gets very excited because he's like, he wants to know what I think, and blah 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 blah. And then he says something really interesting, which is, they haven't asked for my order next year. I keep trying to give them my order, and they won't take it. And she jokes and says, well, maybe they won't have Halloween next year. And it's like, well, after the ending of this movie, maybe they won't have
We'll
it.
see why. We're definitely going to see why. So it just, the whole movie is very dreadful feeling.
That foreboding,
and it doesn't let up. That's the thing. Even after what Erin just discussed, after you find out certain things, you still don't feel any better, because you're like, oh, fuck, I kind of feel worse because I don't know what's happening. It's really bad.
taken hostage, and he's forced to watch this.
To a chick.
He's just to watch this scene.
And now he
And
gets to.
He gets so the commercial comes on, and little Buddy has an orange pumpkin mask on, and he's sitting in front of the TV like we all did when we were that age. And the you know do comes on, and all of a sudden he starts to like grab his head, like he gets this like really bad headache kind of thing, and then he just collapses on the ground. And
his parents are laughing at first. They think
yeah, they are laughing. They're just like, they don't know what's going on. They just think it's silly or whatever. And they're like, oh my God. And then they realize that his head is caving in, and crickets, snakes, locusts, a rattler for whatever
all
reason.
manner of
comes out.
critter. Yeah.
Right. So the rattler comes out, what bites
Bites
because-
dad's leg. Yeah.
What happens is prior to this, when Conor Cochran's in the room with Tom Atkins, he's telling him, he's like, listen, he's like, I fucking hate kids. I despise them. You should too. And he's like, when the hills ran red for 3,000 years, the blood, what he was doing is he was putting pieces of Stonehenge in the trademarks of these masks, and then whatever frequency the cartoon or commercial he's going to play is, it's going to nuke their fucking heads. And then the shit that comes out of the kids' heads is going to in turn kill the parents, because the mom has a stroke, and then the dad, the snake takes him fucking down.
Yep.
So it's like, this is insane. This is crazy to see this shit. So yeah, after Tom Atkins gets a fucking front room view of that, it's like, oh fuck. And again, the dread still doesn't let up, because you're like, oh fuck, now we gotta fucking put the mask, and oh fuck, boom, you know. So it's
So I want to talk about the acting a little bit. At this point, Atkins, you know, he does ham it up a little with his reaction. Reminding me a little bit of Captain Kirk, which is fine. You know, that's the type of actor he is. But Connell, so what's his real name?
Dan O'Herlihy.
Dan O'Herlihy. He does what all the great Hollywood actors do. You know, from the moment you meet him, he introduces more subtleties to his character. You know, at first he is the consummate gentleman, and then he's the owner of a secret that you don't have access to, and then he's just straight up pure evil.
Evil. Yeah.
And he subtly unleashes all these layers until you realize, holy fuck, who is this guy?
And he has this great line where, you know, Tom Atkins is like, why? And he just looks at me and goes, do I need a reason?
Do I need a fucking reason?
And he's like, he goes, you know, Mr. Cuffer was right. I do like a good joke. And he goes, and this is the best joke, a joke on the children.
I mean, and to what Slinky said earlier, Michael Myers ain't got shit on this guy. You know,
No.
if you talk about evil and the levels of evil, no, it's slasher ain't gonna cut it. You know?
Nope. And I mean, it's terrifying, because the whole, like, if anybody who knows the origins of Halloween, like the whole whatever song, I'm not getting into that stuff. Samhain, but like in the United States, in the 19 teens and early 20s, kids used to go out in costumes and knock on your door, and if you didn't give them food, they would break your fucking windows and shit. So it's like, the fact that he says that about a trick on the children, which, if you know anything about Halloween, has genuinely been child friendly. Like, it's all about the kids.
Right.
The kids go out and dress up in characters that they cannot normally ever be. You get to be something fantastic for one night, and then you get to go get free candy.
Right, and it's a way for adults to extend their adolescence. You know, we
Exactly.
still
So
to
it's-
this day, you know, we were pirates.
Yeah.
Christine and I were pirates for Halloween and handed out
See,
candy. You know, it's fun.
I'm the
makes you
real
feel like a
pirate.
kid.
We all know that. Like,
Yeah,
no, just kidding. But like, so the fact that this is such a kid-friendly, kid-centric thing, and this mean old man get off my lawn is gonna get him off his fucking lawn. Like, he's not kidding. So it's crazy, man. It's crazy.
His performance reminded me of Bela Lugosi at his best. And also Wicker Man, Christopher
Yeah.
Lee.
Christopher Lee. Yes, the great Christopher Lee, whose name I just couldn't remember. You know, with, again, just kind of subtle eye movements, a little bit of a smile here and there, but a false smile, just man, what an actor, what a performance.
There's that scene where Gutman gets fired in the face with a laser beam at the hotel, and he shows up in the parking lot, and Tom Atkins is like, I'm a doctor who's in charge of the patient. And he looks at Tom Atkins, he looks at a fucking ER doctor, and he's like, she's going to the factory where she's going to get the best fucking medical treatment money can buy. But the way he delivers it, I would have given him my other toe if he would have asked me. So it's like, just, yeah, he's on it, man. That guy's a great fucking actor.
He's like, she'll get the best possible care.
Yeah.
And everyone's like clapping.
Yeah.
Like the hotel is like, yeah, absolutely. Like, he's a great man, that Connell. Yeah. So then Tom Atkins has been taken hostage. He's been tied up. They put a mask on him. They force him to watch TV. They're excited about the big giveaway at 9. He manages to kick the TV in. He takes the mask, lands a perfect shot over the camera.
So on the behind the scenes I watched today, they had to do that take 40 times.
I'll bet
to get it right.
I'll bet they had to do it a lot.
Because I always joke with her, I'm like, hey, a perfectly thrown mask. Everything's good.
Everything's good.
Tom Atkins.
It was like,
Tom Atkins only needs one try.
Right. So he does that. He goes into the other room. He finds Stacey Nelkin. She's been strapped down to a gurney the entire time, and rescues her. And she doesn't say anything. So it's interesting. So she follows him without saying anything. And he decides to find a giant box of those emblems, and somehow manages to figure out the computer system so that he can project.
Oh yeah, you gotta love those 80s computers too. The giant
yeah,
supercomputers that had
whatever.
maybe a billionth of the memory we have now.
Like the songs in the ad or whatever, and then he throws the things, which then ignites the
it like short circuits their
Stonehenge, the Stonehenge, and then everybody gets vaporized. But one of my favorite parts of this is that Dan O'Herlihy turns to him and applauds him because he's like, you got me there, buddy. Like he's like, that was a good one, before he's vaporized.
Well played, sir. Well played. Well played. Yeah. That's all.
And then, so Tom Atkins has rescued
Pixie.
And they get in the car and they're
driving, and he's turning on the radio stations, and he's like, and then she jumps across it's that weird sound effect that they use.
Yeah.
She attacks him.
Yep.
And then he rips off her arm.
And this fight between them,
it is
epic.
It is like a battle royale.
It's like the fight in fucking They Live in the goddamn alley. It just keeps going on.
Jesus Christ.
Really funny.
So
it turns out she's an android.
Yeah, she's an android, and now her head's off. Whatever. It's just crazy, and he's just like, well,
they
I'm
never
done with
tell
that.
you what happened to the real girl, or was she an android all along?
Nope. We don't know. I don't think she was an android all along. I think they just flipped her shit.
Right, because Tom would have smelled orange juice when he went down on her or whatever.
Oh God.
Sunny D.
I feel like, and she had a no nipple clause in her contract. So there's like all these scenes of Tom Atkins trying to cover up her titty.
When
like
they're laying on the bed,
and like her nipple is right here, and he's like, like he puts his mouth on her so that her nipple, God forbid, wouldn't be on camera.
Well, it's funny. They show her laying on her back, and he's laying on her like a broken clock. Like, it's really weird because his one arm's up this way and his legs over here, and he's like, we ain't gonna see them nipples. We ain't gonna no nipple.
Miss Nelkin. No. So anyway, Tom Atkins knows that well has run dry. So he runs to the gas station, and we run into our friendly African-American gas station attendant. And he runs in there, and first thing he does is he calls Linda, and he says, you got to get those masks away from the kids. You cannot let the kids watch TV. and she doesn't give a shit.
And she calls
She
him-
starts saying she calls him a drunk and all. I mean,
fell off the wagon.
is she wrong?
Right.
He's an alcoholic. He's a bad dad, and he's a questionable doctor.
There's a lesson to be learned here, folks. Yeah.
There's a lot of. There's a yeah.
You
but
want
it
to
was
be
the
trusted in the midst of a crisis situation. Yeah.
Yep. It was the 80s. So then he manages to call the TV station and tell them like it's a matter of life or death. You have to, turn this off
Right.
or whatever.
No, I can't prove it, but you gotta believe me.
Right. So yeah, so NBC is like click, they put the we're having station difficulties. And then and then ABC does the same thing, and then they get to CBS, and CBS is like, fuck them kids.
What?
Uh,
No, the third channel is still up.
Yeah. And he starts yelling and like, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it, stop it. So there are two endings that got left out in the original screenplay. The ending was supposed to be like, he says, stop it, stop it, stop it. And then over the credits, there was going to be like the cries and the screams of children. Yeah. And then they were like, that too much, can't do it. So they didn't do that. The novelization of Halloween 3, which is, bananas hard to find, it actually takes it one step further, which is that he goes home and finds his children just fucked up and melting and all of this. And
Man,
that's
I would have
where
loved both
it
those
ends.
endings. I would have loved both
Yeah.
of those. Now, I'm not saying that the theatrical ending was bad, but
Yeah. But no. And I mean, like, they interviewed Tom Atkins and he's such a sweetheart. And he's just like, I'd like to think that they did get that third channel.
Turned it off.
right. Happy ending.
Sure. But no, I love the fact that it ends on such an ambiguous note. That it's a very sinister film, that it's very much like, I don't care about your kids, and that this is this tradition that he has, and
You mentioned
and
the
who
gas
knows?
station attendant, and I wanted to bring him up earlier. I thought he was great.
He's
The
awesome. I love. He's
African-American
like
guy.
I'd like
He's
to
like,
help as
"Hey,
long
I
as there's
brought
not going
him
to be any
in,
trouble.
I was always taught to do nice things for folks, It's like just a great character actor.
Unless there's going to be any trouble, there's not going to be any trouble, is there?
Right.
And then once he realizes that the dude's like, they're going to kill us all, he's like, I am out of
Beats,
here.
do your
right?
stuff. Yeah. Exit stage left.
Mhm.
So, and that's Halloween 3.
Yeah.
folks.
Okay. Rating this movie with my nostalgia goggles on, I'd give it a 4.
Mhm.
Taking the nostalgia glasses off, I am stuck between a 2.5 and a 3.
Okay.
Probably just for the acting alone. I was taken out of so many scenes because of the hammy acting. Some of the convenient plot points here and there also took me out of it a little bit. And yeah, I guess I'm one of those horror fans. I would have liked a Michael Myers movie better. And yeah, I get it. Cosmic horror trumps slashers every time, concept wise, but
Mhm.
I still prefer the first 2 Halloween movies over Halloween 3 and probably Halloween 4, even though I don't really like it all that much. I still like it better than Halloween 3. But Halloween 3 for me is a solid 4th place behind Halloween 1, 2, and 4.
Mhm.
That's just me personally, without nostalgia goggles. Again, with nostalgia goggles, this movie scared the fuck out of me as a kid. I carried those feelings for many, many years.
Yeah.
But yeah, 3 stars without, 4 stars with.
I'm a solid 7. I give it a little bit of a break because of, just the less than
Wait.
8
So
bits.
okay, so I did 3 and 4 out of 5. You gave it a 7.
Oh, it's out of 5.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
I'm like, come on.
Well, damn. All right. So I will give it a 4. I will give it a 4 then.
Okay.
Yeah, because it is a little cheesy. It's definitely dated, you know.
Not a perfect
It's
movie whatsoever.
definitely not a perfect movie, but I love it, and it's a tradition for me to watch it during Halloween. And I love Tom Atkins, and I love the I don't consider this canon, and I don't think anyone should, because this is a totally different standalone movie. And had George Romero not come out with that
I was just gonna
dog
Yeah, and it
shit
wasn't a bad marketing idea to have a
season,
different themed Halloween movie
yeah,
every
I'm
year
gonna touch
forever.
on that when it
You
comes
know?
to me.
yeah. So yeah, say I would give it a solid 4. There.
Let's see, Halloween 3. Halloween 3, I think I saw it at the right time because I was already into Friday 13th, Halloween, Nightmare, all the slashers, you know.
Yeah.
I had all the notches on my belt. So this one, seeing this one out of left field when I did see it, it threw me for a loop in like such a crazy, awesome horror way because it ends on a down note. I was a big fan of Invasion of the Body Snatchers, so when I saw this, I was like, "Hey, that's awesome." And then the one thing I remember as a kid when I saw the original Halloween, I always was like, they should do different series of these as different scares. Because when you're a kid on Halloween, everything's scary.
Yeah.
Everything can be made to be scary. So this one, I love the idea that they were like, all right, let's do an anthology kind of thing. Let's make it, let's switch it up from year to year. Unfortunately, I will say the video box should have had a fucking disclaimer on it that just flat out said Michael Myers in the first two. He's not in this one. I think that would have cleared up a lot of
Yeah.
stuff, but it's whatever.
One of the things the
Yeah,
director
robot penis.
said before you give your rating, one of the things the director said, and I agree, is if it would have just been called Season of the Witch or something else.
That's what I was going with because I'm a huge Romero fan. I love George Romero. Not all of his movies are fucking tens, man. They're not.
Right.
And unfortunately, he wrote this movie years ago in the 70s, early 80s called Season of the Witch about a bored housewife in Pittsburgh who dabbles in witchcraft. That's what the movie's about. I've tried to watch it 3 fucking times in the last like 2 months. Every night she'll get ready to go to bed and she'll be like, "Oh, I'm going to bed." And I'll be like, "I'm on watch Season of the Witch again." And so I've tried 3 times, it wasn't happening. So the fact that he did that movie so unrelated to heart and stuff, it really did a disservice to Halloween 3.
Yeah.
Without anybody ever knowing. So yeah. I like it. I'll give it 5 melted kid heads. Absolutely. Yeah, the acting's it's not the best. It's just fun. It's just a fun movie. And the idea of a insane mask maker killing kids always stuck with me because every time I went to a store after this and even picked a mask up, in my brain, I always say to myself, is Dan O'Hurley going to kill me?
Right.
Like, so it's, I have a lot of fondness looking back on it. Yeah, I like it. It gets a pass.
Yeah.
Okay, well then I will introduce the next segment. Since I came up with the title. This is the part of the show for which the show is named the Scared Shit List.
You will be scared shitless.
And if you haven't heard the show before, the Scared Shit List is the time during the show during which we talk about what was actually scary, what actually scared us, or what may have scared us if we watched it alone at night or if we were kids or whatever. So, Erin, please take the lead on this because you did such an amazing job with the chronology.
Thank you. I would probably say the scariest is probably the scene where the Kupfer family just dies, basically.
Yeah.
Like, just watching this kid's head cave in, but then also watching these parents, just look on in horror as their, kid's head is melting and there's, insects all over the place. I would say that was probably it was pretty scary, but I think another like sort of jump scare type moment is when you realize that, that Ellie has become an android. Like that moment where she changes and you get that sting, it's like, okay. So those are my 2.
Yeah. I was going to say the part where you realize that's not her, that's scary because now he's on this adventure by himself. But the part that scared me the most is it's literally playing on TV right now, where Conal O'Cochran tells Tom Atkins what he's gonna do, and there's not a fucking thing you can do to stop him.
Yeah,
Just cuts.
that's next
Just
level
cuts and
evil,
fuck
man.
them kids.
Yep,
That's
that's
terrifying,
terror.
man.
Yep.
And with him, it's the delivery, it's everything. It's all the lighting, it's everything, how he delivers that shit. And you're just like, shit just got real as fuck. That's the most terrifying part because he's not playing. He delivers that speech to him, looking him dead in the fucking eye. And he's like, I'm going to murder the children of the world. And we're going to watch. Like, it's so devious and so devilish and so like, oh, it's almost delicious. Oh,
How's that for a trick, kiddies?
yeah, did you like
Yeah.
that? So it's really good, man. It's really good.
Yeah,
Really
and I agree, and I would start with that one in particular. I agree with you 100%. That to me is the most terrifying aspect of the film, and terror, as we know from Stephen King's levels of horror, levels of fear, is the purest form of fear. It's the one you really want to go for because it's the thing that sticks with you. You know, you think about it when you pick up a mask. You know, after you see this movie, you think, "Is he trying to kill me?" You know,
45 and I still do that. So it's crazy to me, you know? Yeah.
that's real terror. And you know, God bless. God damn it, who directed this fucking movie?
Tommy Lee Wallace.
Tommy Lee Wallace for driving that point home. And you know, Conal Cochran for that amazing performance. Who's the actor?
Dan O'Hurley.
Yes.
And he's great in Last Starfighter. So.
Yeah, his face really still sticks with me to this day as just a perfect evil villain. Yeah, he would be in my top 10 horror movie villains for sure.
Absolutely. Fucking right.
But the other scene, I mentioned it earlier, is the android crushing the bridge of the old guy's nose at the beginning, of Papa's nose. Just for some reason that got me on a visceral level. So, you know, it may be the lowest form of fear, the gross out, but it got me. So I still kind of wince when I see it.
Scary, man. It totally changes his goddamn face around. Like, bam. It's wild. It's wild. So.
Well, guys,
We knew you would come to see things our way.
you know what? You got me. You have won me over. And I will not remove the nostalgia goggles the next time I watch this movie. Because why not? Why not watch a movie that scared the shit out of you as a kid in the mindset of a kid? You know, it's why we go to haunted houses, right? It's why we, you know, have these memories of these great movies from the 80s and the 70s. So yeah, fuck it. I love you guys.
Funny, man.
Well,
all right.
What's our next movie?
I was just gonna ask that. What do we want to do next week? You mentioned one earlier that I thought, should we do that one?
Which one?
But now I can't remember what it was.
I was gonna recommend. I thought of this. It was like last week. The Blob, 1988.
Okay, so when people do a list of good remakes, good horror remakes,
This
that
is always on the
makes
list.
cut. Yep. So, and I have not watched it since I was a teenager.
Oh, okay. I got her to watch it last year. She fucking loved it. So
I love
yeah.
Shawnee. She's one of my favorite brunettes.
Yep. I like Frank Darabont. So hey,
yeah,
you know.
So yeah, let's do it. Fuck it.
Is that cool? All right.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
See, I saw that guy was in the Blob. Remember we were watching the movie?
We were trying to make it through cutting class, which by the way is just not a possibility.
No.
And so, but we saw Donovan Leitch, and he was like, "Well, where do we know Donovan Leitch from?" And I was like, "Well, he was in Grease 2. He's Ione Skye's brother. He's Donovan's son, you know." And then I was like, "Oh, you know him from the Blob."
Remake. He's the kid on the poster that's all fucked up. Yeah, it's really good. So, but
and I will watch the original as well.
Yeah.
Just so I can.
Well, as a New Jerseyan, they filmed it in New Jersey, so you have to know that shit growing up, or you're not a real person in New Jersey. So yeah, when this came out, when we lived in New Jersey, I'm getting ahead of myself. I'll save this.
All right. I can't wait.
Good job, honey.
So thank you everyone for tuning into the Scared Shitless podcast. Tune in next week as we cover The Blob from 1988. Till then, stay shitless.
Yay.